stop what you're doing right now. I want you to think about the last time you felt anxious, depressed, or overwhelmed. Did you immediately consider booking a therapy session, or did you try to tough it out alone? Here's what will blow your mind. Both approaches might be wrong. What if I told you that a 2,000-year-old philosophy has been scientifically proven to be as effective as modern therapy for treating depression and anxiety? And what if I also said that combining ancient Stoicism with modern psychology creates something more powerful than either approach? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly when to use ancient wisdom, when to seek modern help, and how to integrate both for maximum mental resilience. We're living through a mental health crisis. Anxiety and depression rates have skyrocketed. Therapy wait lists are months long, and despite having more psychological knowledge than ever before, people seem more mentally fragile than previous generations. Meanwhile, ancient Stoic philosophy, developed by Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca over 2,000 years ago, is experiencing a massive revival. But here's where it gets interesting. Modern psychology and ancient Stoicism aren't just different approaches to the same problems. They're fundamentally different philosophies about what it means to be human and how change happens. Modern psychology's core premise: your thoughts and feelings are symptoms of underlying issues that must be understood, processed, and healed through professional intervention. Stoicism's core premise: your thoughts and feelings are within your control, and you can train yourself to respond to any situation with wisdom and virtue. One says, heal the wound, and the other says, build unbreakable strength. One focuses on understanding why you feel bad. The other focuses on choosing how to respond regardless of how you feel. The question isn't which one is right. It's when each approach serves you best. Part 1. The Stoic Approach. Ancient Strength Training. The Stoic Methodology. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or being emotionless. A common misconception. Stoicism is a practical training system for mental resilience based on 3 core disciplines. The discipline of perception. Learning to see events objectively rather than through the filter of your emotional reactions. When you lose your job, the Stoic asks, what happened versus what story am I telling myself about what happened? The discipline of action. Focusing your energy only on what you can control and accepting what you cannot. This isn't passive resignation, it's strategic energy allocation. The discipline of will. Train yourself to want what happens, rather than demanding that what you wish should happen. This is the most radical Stoic idea. Stoic techniques that work. Morning reflection. Start each day by mentally preparing for potential challenges and reminding yourself of your values and what you can control. Evening review. Analyzing your responses to the day's events, identifying where you acted according to virtue, and planning improvements for tomorrow. Negative visualization. Imagining loss or setbacks to build appreciation for what you have and mental preparation for adversity. The view from above. Zooming out to see your problems from a cosmic perspective, reducing their emotional charge. Scientific validation of Stoic practices. Modern research has validated many Stoic techniques. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, one of the most effective forms of contemporary therapy, is based on Stoic principles. Studies show that Stoic practices can reduce anxiety and depression and increase life satisfaction as effectively as traditional therapy. When Stoicism works best, Stoicism excels in situations requiring immediate emotional regulation, performance under pressure, dealing with uncontrollable circumstances, building long-term resilience, maintaining focus during a crisis. The Stoic limitations. But Stoicism has blind spots. It can become a form of spiritual bypassing, using philosophy to avoid dealing with legitimate emotional needs. It may not address trauma effectively, can discourage seeking help when needed, and sometimes promotes an unrealistic standard of emotional control. Part 2. The Modern Psychology Approach. Scientific Healing. The Psychology Methodology. Modern psychology operates from a fundamentally different premise: that mental suffering often stems from unconscious patterns, unresolved trauma, chemical imbalances, or learned behaviors that require professional intervention to change. Major psychological approaches. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, identifies and changes negative thought patterns and behaviors. Ironically, this is the most stoic of modern therapies. Psychodynamic therapy explores how unconscious patterns from the past influence present behavior and relationships. Humanistic therapy focuses on self-acceptance, personal growth, and finding meaning through authentic self-expression. Trauma-informed therapy specifically addresses how traumatic experiences affect the nervous system and requires specialized healing approaches. Modern psychology's strengths. Trauma processing. Psychology has sophisticated tools for healing trauma that Stoicism alone cannot address. Techniques like EMDR, somatic therapy, and trauma-informed CBT can rewire the brain's response to traumatic memories. Relationship dynamics. Modern therapy excels at helping people understand and change dysfunctional relationship patterns, attachment styles, and communication issues. Mental health disorders. For conditions like bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or severe depression, psychological intervention combined with medication can be life-saving. Emotional intelligence. Psychology provides frameworks for understanding and working with emotions, rather than simply controlling them. Scientific rigor. Modern psychology uses empirical research to validate treatments and continuously refines evidence-based approaches. When modern psychology works best, psychology is superior for processing trauma and abuse, treating severe mental health conditions, understanding unconscious patterns, improving relationships and communication, addressing addiction and compulsive behaviors. Psychology's limitations. However, modern psychology has its blind spots. It can create dependency on professional help, may pathologize everyday human struggles, sometimes focus too much on feelings rather than actions, and can be expensive and time-consuming. Part 3. The Integration Framework. Best of both worlds. Why integration beats either approach alone. The most powerful approach combines Stoic practices for daily resilience with psychological insights for more profound healing. Think of Stoicism as your daily mental fitness routine, and psychology as a specialized medical intervention when needed. The integrated model. Level 1. Daily Stoic practice. Use Stoic techniques for everyday emotional regulation, decision-making, and resilience building. This is your baseline mental fitness routine. Level 2. Psychological insight. When you notice recurring patterns, relationship issues, or emotional reactions that Stoic practices aren't resolving, seek psychological understanding. Level 3. Professional intervention. For trauma, severe mental health issues, or when self-help approaches aren't sufficient, engage professional psychological help. Practical integration strategies. The Stoic-informed therapy approach. Use Stoic principles to approach therapy with realistic expectations. Apply the dichotomy of control to the therapy process itself. Practice Stoic acceptance while working through psychological material. The psychologically informed Stoicism. Use psychological insights to understand why certain Stoic practices trigger resistance. Apply trauma-informed approaches to Stoic exercises. Recognize when Stoicism might be used as emotional avoidance. The daily integration practice. Morning. Start with Stoic reflection and intention setting. Throughout the day, apply Stoic techniques for immediate challenges. Evening. Use psychological insight to understand patterns and plant growth. Weekly. Assess whether deeper psychological work is needed. Case study: Sarah's integrated approach. Sarah struggled with anxiety and relationship conflicts. She started with Stoic practices, which helped her manage daily anxiety but didn't address her underlying attachment patterns. She then engaged in therapy to understand how childhood experiences created her relationship fears. Finally, she used Stoic techniques to implement the insights from treatment in daily life. The combination was more effective than either approach alone. Part 4. When to choose what? The decision framework. The Stoic first approach. Start with Stoicism when you're dealing with external circumstances beyond your control. You need immediate emotional regulation tools. You're facing performance pressure or high-stakes situations. You want to build general life resilience. You prefer self-directed approaches to growth. The psychology first approach. Start with psychology when you have a history of trauma or abuse. You're experiencing severe mental health symptoms. Your relationships consistently follow destructive patterns. You have addictive or compulsive behaviors. Self-help approaches haven't created lasting change. The integration indicators. Move to integration when Stoic practices help with symptoms but don't address root causes. Therapy provides insights, but you struggle with daily implementation. You want both immediate tools and a more profound understanding. You're committed to long-term personal development. Red flags for each approach. Stoicism becomes problematic when you use it to avoid dealing with legitimate emotional needs. You become judgmental of others who struggle emotionally. You suppress emotions rather than processing them healthily. You refuse help when you genuinely need it. Psychology becomes problematic when you become dependent on therapy without developing personal agency. You overanalyze without taking action. You pathologize everyday life challenges. You use psychological labels to avoid personal responsibility. The balanced approach. The healthiest approach combines Stoic agency with psychological insight. You take responsibility for your responses while acknowledging that some patterns require professional help to change. You build daily resilience while remaining open to more profound healing when needed. Part 5. Building your system. Creating your integrated practice. Step 1. Assessment. Evaluate your mental health, relationship patterns, and life challenges. Are you dealing with trauma, severe symptoms, or just everyday life stress? Step 2. Foundation building. Start with basic Stoic practices: morning reflection, evening review, and the dichotomy of control. Build this foundation for 30 days. Step 3. Pattern recognition. Notice what Stoic practices don't address. Are there recurring emotional reactions, relationship conflicts, or behavioral patterns that persist despite your philosophical practice? Step 4. Strategic intervention. For persistent patterns, seek psychological insight through therapy, self-help psychology books, or structured programs. Step 5. Integration. Use Stoic principles to implement psychological insights and psychological understanding to deepen your Stoic practice. The long-term vision. The goal isn't to choose between ancient wisdom and modern science. To become someone who can draw from both traditions as needed. You want to be someone who has the daily resilience of a Stoic and the self-awareness of someone who's done psychological work. Your personal philosophy statement. Develop a personal statement that integrates both approaches. I take responsibility for my responses to life while remaining open to understanding the deeper patterns that shape my behavior. I build daily resilience through ancient practices while seeking modern help when needed. The ancient Stoics and modern psychologists were both trying to solve the same fundamental human problem: how to live well in a complex world. They developed different tools, but they don't have to compete. Your mental health is too important to limit yourself to just one approach. The most resilient people I know combine Stoicism's daily strength building with modern psychology's deep healing insights. If this video helped you see how these approaches can work together, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. Are you more naturally drawn to the Stoic or psychological approaches? And if you want to explore more ways to integrate ancient wisdom with modern science for practical life transformation, subscribe and ring that notification bell. Next week, we're diving deep into Marcus Aurelius's personal crisis management system and how it compares to modern stress management techniques. You won't want to miss it. Remember, you have the power to choose your response to any situation, and you also have the wisdom to seek help when you need it. That's not a contradiction. That's integration.